The story begins with our hero named Lee. Lee is the son of an extremely wealthy family. Actually, a year ago, he met with a terrible accident in which he lost his eyesight. But in this 1 year, his sense of hearing has become so sharp that he can clearly hear even the slightest sound from a distance. The house servants say to each other in low voices, "The master cannot see. Let's steal some valuable things." But Lee hears every single word clearly. After some time, while Lee is eating, he suddenly throws the food kept in front of him down and says in anger, "Fire all these servants today." After this, we see Lee's Aunt Mona. Lee suspects her as well, that she might have been the one who caused his parents' accident. Mona says, "How many people will you fire in a week?" But Lee ignores her words. He only says, "What I don't like, I just don't like." Saying this, he leaves from there. Lee trusts only one person completely, his lawyer, Sean. While going in the car, Lee says to Sean, "In a few days it's my birthday and I will turn 20. Then the whole property will be in my name, right? Then no one will be able to betray me." But the next moment he says seriously, "I still suspect Mona that she wants to grab my property. You keep an eye on her." Sean nods his head. Now let's go back 1 year. That day Lee was passing through a mountain road in a car with his mother and father. Suddenly the brakes fail. The balance of the car gets disturbed and the car hangs on the edge of the valley. Lee's father faints. His mother's leg gets badly stuck in the car. She tries her best to pull out her leg, but fails due to pain and panic. Lee is lying half unconscious. To save her son's life, the mother uses all her strength to push Lee out of the car towards the road. At that very moment, a fast speeding car is seen coming from a distance. Seeing it, she screams loudly for help. The car stops. A man gets out of it, but instead of helping, that man moves straight towards the car and pushes it towards the valley. The car falls straight down. In this accident, both of Lee's parents die, and Lee gets a deep injury on his eye, due to which he loses his power of sight. Now the story comes to the present time. Lee has hired new people for his household chores. One of them is our story's heroine, Gina. When Gina sees Lee, she is shocked. The face she never wanted to see again in her life. Today, she has to work for the same person. From here, the story goes into a flashback. 3 days ago, Lee had gone to the hospital for his treatment. Deep inside Lee's mind, a fear always remains that Mona could try to have him killed at any time. That is why he always keeps bodyguards around him. In that same hospital, Gina's brother was also undergoing treatment. Actually, Gina's father is a security guard in that same hospital. He says to Gina, "The owner of the hospital is a good person. He has even reduced the cost of your brother's treatment significantly. He is just a bit short-tempered. He gets angry even at small things. He is about to arrive now, so be a bit careful in front of him." Saying this, he leaves from there. After a while, Lee arrives at the hospital and heads towards the washroom. As soon as he goes inside the washroom, someone suddenly grabs him from behind. For a moment, Lee's mind freezes. He feels that this might be a man sent by Mona who has come to kill him today, but in reality, it is Gina's brother. Then the guards come and catch Gina's brother, and Lee starts scolding him angrily, saying, "What kind of misbehavior is this?" In the meantime, Gina also arrives there and screams at Lee, "Does anyone talk to a sick child like this?" Gina does not know at all that Lee is blind. She rebukes him harshly. Then Gina's father arrives there. He sits on his knees in front of Lee and apologizes with folded hands. But Lee does not listen to him and clearly says, "I am firing you." Saying this, Lee leaves from there. Gina is heartbroken. She does not understand what will happen now because her father has lost his job. Now Gina has to find some work. During that time, she finds out that there is a need for some work in Lee's house. She reaches Lee's house without delay, and now the scene shifts to the present. As soon as Lee hears Gina's voice, he immediately recognizes it. This is the same girl who had scolded me at the hospital. Lee says nothing. Only one thing is going on in his mind. If this girl lies, he will fire her immediately. He asks in a calm voice, "Have we met before?" Gina gives a straight answer without twisting words. "Yes, we met in the hospital. My brother caught you by mistake, and I scolded you, misunderstanding the situation." Lee likes her honesty and hires her. Gina does her work with full responsibility. From drying his hair with a hairdryer to making him wear his shirt, she handles everything. Gradually, she starts coming close to Lee and looks into his eyes. She feels sorry that there is no light in such beautiful eyes. Lee also senses that she has come very close. He says a bit sternly, "Don't come so close. Stand a bit away." Everything is going well, but one day Mona says to Gina, "Lee has started trusting you a lot. You have to do a job for me. You keep giving me news of his every move, where he goes, who he meets, and what decisions he takes, everything. If you do this, I will get your father's job back and also pay your brother's entire hospital bill." Lee hears all this from above because his hearing power is very sharp. After a while, Gina comes upstairs and Lee directly says, "I have fired you. You can go." Gina asks in surprise, "What do you mean by firing? What did I do wrong?" Lee replies in a cold tone, "You were going to spy on me by joining hands with Mona, right?" Hearing this, Gina's anger bursts out. She says, "Because of you, my father lost his job even though he was not at fault, and today without thinking you fired me too. Do you have any idea idea how many lives your hasty decisions ruin. Gina doesn't stop. And what do you think? That you are sad because you are blind? The truth is that your perspective itself is wrong. You don't value anyone except yourself. If you keep doubting everyone, you will remain alone your whole life. You will find no one. Saying this, Gina throws a pillow at him and leaves from there. Lee also gets filled with anger. The next day, Mona's assistant calls Lee and tells him that Mona is preparing to sell the hospital without telling him, and he should reach there immediately. Hearing this, Lee gets worried. He calls his lawyer, Sean, and says he has to go to the hospital right now. Sean says yes from the other side and cuts the call. But as soon as he puts the phone down, Sean orders his men to reach Lee's house and not let him take even a single step out. They lock Lee in a room. Here Lee realizes that Sean has also now joined hands with Mona. Despite this, Lee finds a way to stop the sale of the hospital. He finds a pair of scissors in the room. He cuts the mesh, makes a rope by tying the cut wires, and comes down to the road with its help. He stops on the road to ask for a lift, and just then Gina reaches there on her scooty. Gina explains to him there is no use shouting here. Taxis are not available in this area at all. Hearing Gina's voice, Lee's anger resurfaces. He says, "Take your path and leave me alone." Gina leaves from there without arguing. Lee tries to get down, but falls due to losing balance. Seeing this, Gina stops. She feels pity for Lee. She agrees to give him a lift. Lee also has no other choice. He has to reach the hospital at any cost. He sits on the back of the scooty. Lee reaches the conference room directly and tells everyone clearly that whatever is happening without his wish and knowledge. He says clearly, "No one can sell the hospital without my order." Right here, the villain of this story, Nathan, comes forward. The same man who was trying to buy the hospital. As soon as Lee arrives, the board members understand that this whole deal was going on in an illegal way. The board immediately cancels the deal, and Nathan is forced to leave from there. After this, Lee directly confronts Mona. He asks, "Who gave you the right to take such a big decision without my order, and what was the need for all this?" Mona gives her clarification that the hospital was going into financial loss. She thought that by selling it, her other company would be saved. But Lee stops her and says, "I don't need anyone's help." He reminds her that the bank has still given them time, and then he says one more thing, "And I also know that you were the one behind causing my parents' accident." Hearing this, Mona is shaken. She cannot even understand how Lee could think that she could have her own sister and her husband killed. Lee just says while leaving that his mother was taking her name while dying, and also that Sean also turned out to be her man who kept him imprisoned in his own house. Mona gets completely confused. She doesn't understand at all what misunderstanding Lee is living in. Gradually, she realizes that perhaps she had nothing to do with the death of Lee's parents. Then she remembers that her husband JJ and Sean studied in the same college and were close friends too. From here, a suspicion is born in Mona's mind that perhaps JJ, Sean, and Nathan are all on the same side. Thinking this, Mona immediately goes to meet JJ. Reaching there, she overhears him talking to Nathan. Nathan is saying, "The work you left incomplete a year ago. Today its result stands before us in the form of Lee, and he is ruining our whole plan. Quickly, you were the one who forced the doctor to tell Lee that his eyes can never be treated." JJ says, "If I am bad, then you are no less than me," and he tells Mona to leave from there. From here, the flashback begins. It is shown why JJ caused Lee's parents' accident. One day, a parcel arrives at JJ's house. In it, it is clearly seen that JJ is having an affair with another woman. Nathan sent this parcel. Nathan threatens JJ that the woman he is having an affair with is the daughter of a very rich man in Korea. If this evidence reaches that man, JJ will either be kicked out of the country or will not be left alive. Nathan puts a condition. If JJ wants to stay safe in this country, he will have to cause Lee's parents' accident and finish them off. In return, the entire property will come into JJ's hands because Lee was not yet 20 years old. Nathan promised that when Lee becomes an adult, a big part of the property would go to JJ. Out of this greed, JJ damaged the car's brakes that day, and when Lee's parents survived even after the accident, he himself came to push them into the abyss. Now the scene returns to the present. Mona understands everything clearly. She sends her assistant to follow JJ. JJ is going to the house of the same woman with whom he is having an affair. The assistant takes photos of both and sends them to Mona. Mona reaches there to catch them red-handed without wasting time. Now the scene shifts to Gina. Gina is dropping Lee back to his house. Now Lee truly trusts her. He apologizes and says that the bad behavior he showed her was wrong. He also says that she should come back to work from the next day. But Gina says clearly, "I did not help you for the job. I don't want the job." Lee tries to convince her. He says that he will give her double salary. Gina just comes close to him and says this much, "After today, I don't want to meet you again." Saying this, she leaves from there. Even after returning home, Lee's attention remains stuck on her. He calls her, but Gina is working in a food outlet. As soon as Lee's number appears on the screen, she takes out the phone's battery without thinking. Lee gives instructions to his staff that Gina's father should be called back to the hospital and Gina's brother's treatment should be started for free. He feels that perhaps with all this, Gina's anger might decrease and she might return. Here, Mona reaches the house of the woman with whom JJ is having an affair. Seeing JJ's shoes outside the door, Mona stands quietly and starts listening to the conversation inside. Inside, that woman is asking JJ, "When will you divorce Mona?" Just then Mona comes inside and the truth comes out. That woman turns out to be Mona's best friend. Mona cannot believe that she was the one who ruined her life. In anger, Mona grabs the woman's hair and pulls her down. JJ stands trembling in a corner. Mona hits him with a powerful slap on his face and says clearly that she will humiliate him in the whole city and will also file a police case. Mona starts to leave, but JJ catches her hand. In panic, he pushes her down the stairs. Mona gets a deep injury on her head and dies right there. JJ and that woman go into shock. They feel the next station will be straight to jail. But then a horrific plan comes to JJ's mind. He calls a dangerous criminal on whom several cases are already running. JJ says, "Listen carefully." He says that he will give them $20 lakh, and in return they just have to get rid of his wife's body. He also says that there is a virus kept in Lee's hospital lab, and they have to somehow infect Lee with that virus. After this, they have to surrender before the police and say that the order to kill Mona was given by Lee. JJ explains the blame will go to Lee, and because of the infection, he will die in a few days. If the work is done properly, the money will be theirs. The criminal immediately agrees. Here, just as Lee had thought, Gina's anger gradually decreases, and she comes back to work at Lee's house. Seeing Gina, Lee feels a clear sense of relief. Just then, the criminal calls Lee. He says, "I know who was behind the murder of your parents." He tells him that the order to kill them was given by JJ, and then he tells Lee to reach his hospital lab immediately because the whole truth will be found there. Anger erupts inside Lee because until now, he was considering Mona responsible for his parents' death. Now the whole picture has flipped. Lee immediately takes Gina with him and reaches the lab. The criminal has already set up the virus in the room. As soon as Lee comes inside, pressing a switch would spread the virus in the air. As soon as Lee and Gina step into the room, the door gets locked and the virus is released by remote. The air starts getting heavy. Both are struggling to breathe. Lee realizes that a lethal virus has been released in the room because it is his own hospital lab. Lee already has information about this virus. A few years ago, a research doctor had told him that a mutant virus and its antidote were being developed here. Lee immediately checks the cabinets, and the antidote is indeed found, but there is only one dose of it. Lee tells Gina, "You take this." Gina directly refuses. "You take it, I will be fine." Meanwhile, Gina's father also reaches the lab because he had seen Gina locked inside. But by then, it is too late. Gina injects that single antidote into Lee. Now the scene shifts to the hospital where Lee has regained consciousness. JJ is sitting near Lee and saying that Lee had hired a criminal to kill his wife Mona. Right here, the real truth comes out. Actually, JJ himself had told that criminal to surrender and promised that he would get him out on bail and give 40 lakhs in return. Out of greed for money, the criminal agrees. He surrenders and tells the police that he killed Mona at Lee's behest. Without delay, the police arrest Lee along with the criminal. Here, breaking news starts running on news channels that a dangerous virus has leaked from the hospital lab and is spreading in the air. Due to the virus, about 7 people have become infected. Now Lee is in jail. At some distance, that same criminal is sitting in his cell. He is saying with confidence to his cellmates that he has framed Lee completely. He says while laughing, "When I get out, I will get 40 lakhs, and that poor guy will keep rotting here." Lee's hyper-sharp ears catch every single word. He clearly understands that all this was JJ's plan, and he has been completely framed. In that same jail, a new prisoner is also brought to the criminal's cell. The whole gang together keeps torturing him. The atmosphere of the jail is running in a purely barbaric mode. One day, JJ comes to meet the criminal in jail and directly says, "Finish Lee right here in jail." He also says that if this work is done, he will give 1 crore. This time, the criminal hesitates a bit because killing someone inside jail is not that easy. But hearing 1 crore, his mind tilts straight towards money. He immediately says yes. After this, he starts looking for every chance to kill Lee. He says to his companions, when he comes out in the corridor, push him straight. But Lee's super hearing catches everything. He always maintains distance from them. When a companion of the criminal comes to push Lee, Lee ducks at exactly the right time. The companion himself falls and dies right there. The new man who had come to the criminal cell and whom these people used to torture quietly warns Lee, "Be careful. These people want to kill you." Gradually, Lee and that man become good friends. Lee tells him that his power of hearing is very sharp and they can take advantage of it. Lee asks, "Do you want to trap all of them? And will you help me?" That man says yes without thinking because he hates the criminal anyway. Both together make a smart plan. When the criminal and his companions are in the bathroom area, Lee reaches there. His friend guides from outside the bathroom in a low voice, "Left, now 2 steps right, now straight." Other people hear nothing, but Lee is catching every single whisper. The criminal becomes happy seeing Lee. They feel that the prey has itself come into the lion's mouth. They say, now no one can save his life. But as soon as Lee opens a toilet door, the criminal himself is sitting inside. Looking at his face, it seems as if he has won a lottery. He feels that Lee has come himself to take death. Lee closes the door without any expression and says, you wanted to kill me. Now let's see what happens to you. Lee takes out a rope. He ties it above and puts it around the criminal's neck. The criminal does not understand at all what this man is doing. At that same moment, Lee's friend calls the security guards and tells them that these people were trying to kill Lee. The guards enter the bathroom, and the scene that comes before them makes it look like the criminal himself was trying to hang Lee with a rope. The guards kill the criminal at that very moment and say, if anything happens to Lee, our jobs will be in danger. Now the criminal cannot even touch Lee. Lee gives him an offer with complete peace. If you tell the whole truth, you will get 20 crores. But the criminal remains stubborn. He says nothing. A few days pass, and the criminal breaks down completely. It seems that the mutant virus from the lab has spread in his body. He catches Lee's feet and says while crying, save me, get the antidote for me. Lee directly refuses at first. Then he says in a cold and stern voice, okay, but first tell everything. At whose behest did you come to kill me, and whatever you know against me, everything, Lee says clearly. Otherwise, I will not help even for a second. Finally, the criminal breaks. He tells that JJ had promised to give him 40 locks to finish Lee. He also tells that JJ himself killed Lee's Aunt Mona and told him to take the blame on himself. Lee's mind jams for a moment. Now he understands everything. Not Mona, but JJ was behind everything. But then the criminal drops another bomb. He says, your eyes could have been treated by surgery, but they did not want you to get well. All the pictures of Lee's life fit into a single line. Those who were closest to him turned out to be his biggest enemies. Saying this much, the criminal falls down lifeless. Both are taken to the hospital by ambulance. There, JJ, showing fake humanity, is saying in front of everyone, Lee is the only heir of our family. I will try my best to get him bail. But Lee has known his real face. Therefore, he remains silent. Lee is admitted to the hospital. There, he hires a new lawyer and sets a clear target. I suspect that JJ is behind the murder of my parents and Aunt Mona, and I have to get him arrested somehow. And right here, part 1 of this series ends. If you like this video, then do subscribe to the channel.